It's a huge privilege to have the Indian ambassador to Egypt here with us, Mr. Navdeep Suri, a very, very enterprising Indian ambassador. It's a huge pleasure to have you on Bollywood Hungama, first of all.
Delighted to be on Bollywood Hungama and delighted to welcome you to Egypt to cover India by the Nile Festival and especially the visit of Mr. Amitabh Bachchan.
Sir, I think the way you've managed so many people and so many teams together, it must have been a tough task.
Well, I have a brilliant team at the embassy and we've farmed out the responsibilities and we're working very closely with the professional organization Teamwork Arts. So between my embassy's officers and Teamwork Arts, it's a great collaboration and I think we've got a lot of balls in the air right now. There are multiple activities happening in Cairo, in Alexandria, soon moving to Ismailia and Port Said, and I'm sure they're going to be a big success.
So as you mentioned the other day that in the 9 million population in Egypt, there is only 3,500 Indian diaspora. But still the sort of popularity that Bollywood films have, and especially Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, the sort of humongous popularity that he has, how do you attribute this entire popularity to?
Well, firstly, the population is 90 million, not 9 million. Right. But I think Mr. Bachchan is a legend here. People have grown up watching his films. It's been a tradition that during the Eid festivities, families would get together, even extended families would get together and watch 3, 4, 5 of his films at a go. And you would find people who can recite dialogues, people who have learnt Hindi watching his films. That's the kind of status he has. And it cuts across classes, it cuts across geographies. You can go to the south of Egypt, you can go into the Sinai, you can go to the Delta area, you can meet rich and poor people, young and old people, everybody knows him.
How has been the experience? Mr. Bachchan is here, he met the Indian community, which was like a huge success. At the same time, after that, there was a Egyptian community and some Indian people over there as well. So how has been your experience since last night?
You know, for us as an embassy which is trying to boost India-Egypt relations, the visit of Mr. Bachchan with us is really a huge impetus to our efforts. He's been exceptionally magnanimous, exceptionally gracious in making so much of his time available for a cause that we are trying to promote, which is bring Egypt and India together. And as you saw, the kind of popularity that he enjoys, by virtue of his personality, he's just able to connect instantly with diverse audiences. We first saw it with the Indian community, and of course that I would expect. But last night at our reception, we had a former Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Ministers, several cabinet ministers, Egyptian film stars, and you could see the desire of all of them to get a picture with him, to get an autograph from him. That's the kind of status that he has in this country. Right.
I spoke to Mr. Bachchan last night and I asked him that, do you think that more and more Indians should be, because Indians love to travel as far as the holidays is concerned and we have huge numbers, so they should be just considering Egypt as part of their itinerary. So he said that they should, because it's a wonderful place. So when someone like Amitabh Bachchan says that on video, do you think that it makes an impact for Egyptian tourism?
I think it certainly makes an impact, and tonight when we see Mr. Bachchan at the pyramids, just the connection that an iconic Indian figure at one of the 7 wonders of the world, you don't need to say more. You know, Egypt's gone through a fair amount of difficulties in the last 3-4 years after the revolution. So his presence here, I think, helps in sending a fairly positive message out. And for us as an embassy, there's always a connect between culture and tourism. And remember, tourism is 2 ways. As more and more people buy into Indian culture, they would also be interested in visiting India, not just the other way around. So we're hoping, of course, that more Indians will come to visit this great country. But we also hope that more Egyptians will start going to India.
Mr. Navdeep Suri, he lives in India House and river Nile flows just around him. Now you're going to Australia. He's a new Indian ambassador to Australia. He'll join from April 17th. So will you be missing the entire Nile factor in your life?
Well, absolutely I'll be missing Egypt because this is an amazing country and the kind of history it has, the kind of culture it has, the kind of warmth with which we connect with the Egyptian people is quite remarkable. But then, you know, for us diplomats, this is going to be our 7th assignment, one more move, and we have a very large relationship with Australia. Prime Minister Abbott's been in India in September, Prime Minister Modi was in Australia in November. The very large bilateral agenda to put together. So even as we are trying to see through the India by the Nile festival and make sure that it's a roaring success, a part of your mind is already moving on to the next assignment.
Fantastic. And much more bigger number of Indian diaspora over there.
Almost 450,000,
yeah.
Yes. And of course the diaspora is a very important element, but what we've shown in Egypt is that we've been able to create a festival on the scale of India by the Nile in a country that's had a certain amount of political unrest, in a country which is 90% Muslim, in a country which is non-English speaking and which doesn't have a diaspora, an Indian diaspora. So if we can do it here, then I think there's a replicable model that we've created that can probably be used in other places as well.
Fantastic. So Australia, listen to that. All right. So thank you very much, sir. Lovely having you. Thanks a lot for the hospitality. Thanks a lot. Hi, this is Faridoon Shahryar. For the most interesting celebrity interviews, do subscribe to Bollywood Hungama. Keep on watching.